All right, before I start this next video, I thought I'd better give a little bit of a disclaimer. These hot peppers, I don't know how to give you the proper warning. Don't cook them in the house if somebody has breathing trouble. Don't handle them with your bare hands. It's hard to breathe. Make sure you have plenty of ventilation. I'm crazy, so I do it without all that. But only up to habanero. By the time you hit ghost, I'm scared of them. On up, I'm even more scared. I just wanted to put this on the beginning of the video to let you know about the new hot sauce I'm making. It's hot sauce and dipping sauce in one. So today I'm making hot sauce, and I'm going to put mango in it. It's going to be habaneros, yellow sweet peppers, and mangoes. So let's get started. So it did two, and by the way, as soon as I cut into it and hit that pit in the middle, I knew that I had done mango before. So I had to break out my non-cutting glove and get that thing taken care of. But anyway, I've done two. Now I'm going to weigh this as I go so that we can have good measurements on it. But it's going to be a hodgepodge. I got to wash up the... Well, now for the sweet peppers, I want to cut them open and get the seeds out. Now I plan on leaving the seeds in the habanero, because that'll keep the better part of the... Why do they put stickers on there? It won't come off. What they put the better part of the heat is in there. Now let me show you what I did. I got sweet peppers, habaneros. They all pretty match. So I'm going to try to make kind of an orange hot sauce. And I'm going to put the mango in it. And that'll be my main coloring. But everything else I put in it is going to be almost what I put in my other sauces that I make. This is still an experiment, by the way, guys. I'm going to do it as I go. But I'm trying to make it orange instead of dark tomatoey red. I even bought some clear wine vinegar to put in it. I wanted to show you, this is how I get my seeds out. I don't know if it's easy way, hard way. If I invented it, someone else invented it, I don't know. But I did this with other vegetables and it worked fine. So what I do is I cut around that crown, and we'll cut right through the middle, but I'm staying away from the seeds. And then when I pop this open, the seeds stay as a pod for the most part, and I can take them out and throw them to the side, and I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry. There might be a couple seeds left in there, but no big deal. I'll get the habaneros ready. Now the habaneros I'm not going to do anything to other than pop them in the blender the way they are. They've all been washed. I'm going to pop them in the blender the way they are. So I'm going to do the sweet peppers and the habaneros first, and I'll give you the weights. And then once I do that, then I'll start adding my spices. When I get the liquid about where I want it, I'll start adding my spices and my mango. So far what I have in sweet peppers, I have 842 grams. Now I'm going to throw all this in there and try to adjust as I go. That's going to replace what I normally put in as dried sweet peppers and peppers in sauce in my hot sauce. My habaneros, there's about 20 there, is 272 grams. My mango, there's 2 mangoes in there. They're 307 grams. Now I'm going to add the mango later as I taste it, just to see where I want to be. So I'm going to gather up the other things that I'm going to need to make it and get back with you. So here's what I got so far. That's just the sweet peppers and the habaneros combined. And I've got right at 5 cups of material. I haven't even added my spices yet. It's in pretty good shape as far as the consistency goes. It drops down pretty good. Now I'm going to be putting a lot of dry product in it. So I might have to, I'm going to put vinegar in it too. So I might have to add more vinegar to straighten it out. But I'm going to start adding my spices now, and I'll list them as I go. I can't do like all the other YouTubers because I don't have the space. What I'll do, I'll show you as I do it. So this is powdered onion. I powdered this myself. This is done with onions, and then I cut them up, freeze dry them, and then turn them into powder after that. So there's a half a teaspoon. Make sure that's out. Or half a tablespoon, I'm sorry. So there's a whole tablespoon of onion powder. I think that's going to be fine. I'll do the same thing with the garlic. I do the same with the garlic. I make the garlic too. Half and a whole tablespoon of garlic. Now, I've been making this recipe, just playing with it, coming up with something. And in the middle of it, I experimented and I went, I think rosemary would be good. So I want to put half a tablespoon of rosemary in it. It adds a nice little tint to it. And then brown sugar. I want to put a full tablespoon of brown sugar in it. Now, I haven't been adding salt until now. I'm going to add some salt to it. I want to add a half to a full tablespoon, depending on how it seems, of celery powder, which I make also. I make almost all this stuff, people. There's a heap and half. Let's do a shallow half. That'll make a full tablespoon of celery. Start setting these out of my way. Now for salt, I really shouldn't be using iodized salt, but honestly, that's all I have. And I haven't been adding salt, but I'm going to put a half a tablespoon of just basically regular old table salt in there, nothing special. And then the last thing I want to add, and I have to add it in liquid form along with the vinegar, here's the vinegar, is liquid smoke. I like liquid smoke in it. So I'm only going to put a half a tablespoon of liquid smoke. I'm going to start with a full cup of wine vinegar and taste and see where it goes. Well, I'm up to just a little over 6 cups now, and I'm about to do my first taste test just to see where it's at. I hope it's not too hot, because I don't like it real hot. There it is. Pretty stuff. Oh, buddy, that's warm. It's also kind of flat. I'm going to put every bit of that mango in there and try to sweeten it out a little bit. I got to really be honest with you. That mango made a huge difference. I'm currently at 7.5 cups of liquid. I think it's bottle time. I'm going to finish pureeing it though to make sure all whatever seeds made it in there are mangled up, and I have to sterilize my bottles. I might just go ahead and put this on the stove and let it simmer for a little bit so that everything will meld together a little better before I bottle it. I just broke out a test strip and tested the pH. This is it right here. I'll zoom in on it for the video. But according to that, if you compare it to the chart, that is between a 2.9 and a 3.0. So the pH on it is really, really low, and that's really good. Now it's going to come up a little bit, obviously, as it settles, but it needs to be below 4.6 is all. So if it starts turning green, that's when I have to worry about it. But otherwise, it's shelf stable as is. So good stuff. Oh, I'll show you my meter. I don't know if you can see it or not. The readings are not going to be correct, but I put it in the sauce I just made, and it registered a 3.8. So it'll be about 4 when I'm done. I wanted to show you what it looked like. Turned out nice. Turned out the way I wanted it to turn out. It's still got some seeds in it, as you can see. I can't get rid of those in a large batch. So I had to put it in these larger bottles, which I only have 3 of. But I'll continue to bottle it in the glass ones. But I like to sterilize those first. These are already sterile, were easy to sterilize. I haven't double checked the pH again, but I know I'm below 4. So it looked like I made 7.5, 8 cups worth out of all that effort. And I think this is an excellent dipping sauce because it's got a nice mango flavor and it's got the heat of the habanero. And it's got a real good pepper taste to it because of the amount of sweet pepper that I put in it. I like it, and that's what I make it for, is for me. I take it to work and try it on the people at work and see what they think. And I've modified since then. But this one I just came up with to say, I want a dipping sauce. So there you have it. Also wanted to show you too, after cooking it for just a little bit, I didn't cook it very long, but after cooking it for just a little bit, see how it's already starting to turn a little greener than what the other one was. So the pH, you can see where it went on the rise, heading for 4.0. As long as we stay below 4.6, we're great. I wanted to share with you what I come up with for these little bottles. I took one of these, I guess I call it a ketchup bottle. And before, ouch, that one's hot. Before I cut the top off of it to use it as a regular funnel. And I thought, well, why not just put all the stuff in the squeeze bottle? Then I can shoot it right in the jar as I need it. There's only maybe 2 jars left, so I just thought I'd share that with you while I was finishing it. And then I can tell you exactly how much I made too. Looks like it might be just a little bit more. I hate to use a whole jar for that, but I'll use it for my personal stuff. I'll let that sit there and finish draining. So the jars have been sterilized, little bottles. And that might be too small a hole. But I did put in the, in other words, the first jars I made, I showed those to you. And I considered those to be, I don't like that top. That top is not seating right. A little better. Maybe it's the bottle. Anyway, maybe it'll seat after a while. The bigger jars, these, I'm going to label those as dipping sauce. And then these, I'm going to label as sauce because I put a little bit more vinegar, half cup of vinegar in this. And I don't know if you can see the color change. It looks just a little bit different. So anyway, I'm going to name this sauce H3 dipping sauce and hot sauce. And it's warm, and there ain't no 2 ways about it.